for your opponents, but that's a great problem to have if you're the attacking team.
Simcoe County, no slouch of their own, 24 goals in the first half, but they do their most of their damage in the second half, where they lead all of League One with 32 second half goals, 3 more than the second place team.
You know what? That's a team that knows how to come from behind if they have to, and that's why they've won so many of their games. They know how to put it away and finish it off when they start it.
Well, the referee has the ball at half. The players are ready to go, and we are going to get this one underway in mere moments here at the Ontario Soccer Centre. Exciting times for the League One men's final, as our officials are just making sure everyone's lined up properly. Got to do that, right, Jules?
Of course.
Simcoe going to start us off here. And there's the whistle. And the League One men's final is underway. Simcoe sending this one along, looking for the head of Benitez Hernandez. Can't find it, and there's Luke Rankin able to clear for Scrosoppi. Going to the near side quickly here and sending it in deep. Simcoe County trying to find a way through. Cross is blocked there by Luka Frankovic, and it's going to be an early corner for the Rovers.
Something of a bit different start from Simcoe County, as a lot of times Simcoe County likes to possess the ball first, but this time I think they decided that they wanted to take it to them to see how they handled it.
Be the first corner kick here for either team, obviously early in the game. It's a outswinger and easily cleared there by Manveer Gill, and Howie can't bring that one under control as he is offside. Now we're going to get our first chance to look at the imposing figure that is Andreas Vikla, probably one of the tallest players in League One Ontario, and he happens to be a keeper.
Yeah.
As the ref is sending him backwards to
basically put the ball back where it was originally.
But that's where I don't know. That looked to me where it was supposed to be called. As this one sent forward looking for the head of Schoolblack, he's able to flick it on to Cody Ellis, and he's taken down quickly there by Portal. But here comes the Rovers. That's Benitez Hernandez with the ball at his feet. He's challenged there by 2 Scrosoppi players. Joshua Paredes looking to take the quick one, sending it long to Schoolblack. But they're going to redo the kick there. Not really sure why, but we're going to bring this one back.
Yeah, well, it looks like, the ball was moving. Or so that's what the referee perceived, that the ball was moving. Realistically, the good thing is that because the ball was moving and they're taking the re-kick, then it means that the referee doesn't have to look at booking a player for jumping in the way.
As this one's played out to the far side to Carlo De Fieo. He gets it back from Amari Cotterill, tries to find him once again, but Cotterill is offside.
Those opening match jitters where guys are moving a little bit faster than they should to get to spaces and end up finding themselves offside.
Bajman, the starting keeper here for the Simcoe County Rovers, going to get us restarted. He gets everybody ready to go, and he's going to send this one long. Looking for one of his teammates, and the flick on is easily intercepted by Rankin. And then this one's sent forward by Ellis, but Simcoe, lots of players back to defend this one, and Javier Al George is going to be reset back with his captain. To the near side here to Tajay Reed. Inside to Portal. He finds Benitez Hernandez. Haley's just going to go back and reset. Simcoe, a team that loves to have control of the ball, so not a surprise that they are playing out of the back right now.
And the movement of the ball itself, as they try and shift the Scrosoppi defense and their formation. But Scrosoppi, this is part of why they finished first. They're so disciplined that they're not. It's going to take a little bit more than this to unearth them and to move them a bit.
Earl's ball forward, finds the feet of De Silva, and he's making the run down the line. Carlo De Fieo blocks that one, and he's going to clear this one. Lots of Simcoe County players back, but Frankovic is going to just clear it, and it's going to go out for a Simcoe County throw. Quick restart here to Reed. Plays it forward to Howie. Howie looking for the run of Alejandro Porto Oliva. And he's unable to control it. Quick throw again as Skublak brings it down, and we'll see a restart here from Scrosoppi. Joshua Paredes drops back into his favorite role to receive that ball is between the two center backs. So we're going to see a lot of this kind of play from the midfielder as that one is blocked. And here comes Simcoe looking for an early opportunity. This one's played across, and it's off the Scrosoppi defender and in the back of the net.
As you talked about that playing between the two center backs, all of a sudden a mistake by not clearing the ball quick enough or not having a good enough body position on the ball, all of a sudden created that scoring opportunity, and Simcoe put it away.
5 minutes in, and the number 2 team has the lead. Sean-Claude Lawson, the one to finish it off, and what a start from the Rovers.
Yeah, well, everybody comes to play, and it's just a question of nerves, and usually in a final, something like that can happen where you can get a quick goal, and now we'll see how Scrosoppi actually responds to it.
Carlo De Fieo back to Alexander Ziss. He loves to drop back just like Paredes does, but Ziss starts a little bit further forward as this is a foul against Cotterill. So Scrosoppi will have a free kick. They'll reset here and send it long looking for Skublak, but he's standing offside in this scenario. So not a smart move by him.
He got caught with a line. The line moved just before the ball was kicked, and he started in an onside position and then ended up offside.
That's a move though that by someone as skilled and as talented as Skublak, you kind of expect him not to make those kind of mistakes. It's an early mistake in a very, very tense game. Don't get me wrong, but that's usually what you expect.
You expect that, but like I said, finals do strange things to people.
This one's sent forward looking for Benitez Hernandez. He can't get there, and Scrosoppi's able to bring it down. Gill sending it out to Ellis, but he puts that one a little bit too far, and it's going to be a Simcoe County throw.
And realistically, to build on the Skublak mistake, he's going to be offside at least 3 or 4 times this game because he's going to be pushing.
And you have to. I'm not saying that strikers shouldn't be offside every once in a while or they won't get caught, but on a free kick, that's really when you shouldn't be caught. That's when everything's set. That's when everything's in front of you.
Yep.
And that was more what my comment was. As Simcoe works forward, as Howie with the ball, he's being chased down by Luka Frankovic. It gets around the outside and calls for a free kick, but nothing there, and it's going to be a goal kick here for Scrosoppi.
Simple shoulder to shoulder.
Good no call by the referee in that one, and the linesman was right there to keep an eye on it too. Vikla to restart it here. He's going to push his guys up. It'll be interesting to see how much Paredes drops back for this Scrosoppi team. He loves to get the ball deep, as this one's played forward looking for Ellis, but it's a little bit too far. He does love to pick up the ball deep between the center backs, but with them being down now, it's going to be hard for him to, continuously do that.
It's early, so they might not deviate from the game plan yet. If the game goes on longer and they're still down, then he'll deviate. He'll change the plan.
As Skublak's header forward can't find his own teammate, and now it's Benitez Hernandez trying to fight off the defender, and he gets by him, sends it into the middle, and 2 Simcoe County players there, and it's another goal!
That's textbook pass, textbook finish. That's the way you want your man in front of the net to finish. Not give the goalie a chance and play it away from him, and if you have to, underneath him. Great finish.
A 9th minute insurance goal. You don't hear that very often in League One, but that's what it is. And now we have 2 goals from Simcoe County. They're up 2-0.
It's 2-0, and we're early in. We're only in the 9th minute. You know what? This is the most dangerous score in the game of football.
Always has been, always will be.
Exactly. So it's like this is where, if Simcoe decides to rest on the laurels, Scrosoppi's going to come back and going to pull something off.
As this tries to catch man off his line, but this keeper's smart enough to know better than that, and he's able to drop back. So now we have Jean-Claude Lawson with a goal, and we have Orlandis Benitez with a goal. All we need is the actual striker from Simcoe County to create the trifecta. And we got lots of talent on the Scrosoppi side as well, so it's going to be a fun one for the rest of this match.
Yeah, this isn't going to remain a goose egg for Scrosoppi for much longer. They'll get into it.
As this one's sent forward. And Benitez brings it down to the near side here. Howie with it now. He does a nice job bringing it back and resetting. And now it's at the feet of Alejandro Portal. Looking long, trying to find the run of his teammates, but can't do it there. And now here come Scrosoppi. Numbers in favor of Simcoe. They bring it to the near side here to Cody Ellis. One-on-one with Aja Howie. Howie forces him to go back to Frankovic. And now Benitez Hernandez giving chase. He can't get there, but forces Scrosoppi all the way back and into a bad pass.
Right now, Simcoe seems to have the run of the game early.
They seem calmer, they seem more composed, and they seem to have the legs that Scrosoppi just doesn't seem to have at the moment.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's nerves or that's why I can't wait to see what happens in the next 10 minutes, because the next 10 minutes may tell the story and paint the picture.
As this ball forward is going to end up on the feet of Javante Lane, and that's going to go out for a Simcoe County throw on the far side.
Scrosoppi doesn't look bad in the way they're defending. It's just two balls where they've basically been bullied off the ball. And it's not an illegal bullying off the ball. It's just they've just been pushed off the ball.
Yeah.
Which is uncharacteristic.
And they just seem to be having holes in the defense at the wrong times.
Yes.
When they get pushed off that ball, there's no cover.
Yes.
And that's what's cost them twice, and it's already 2-0 for the visitors. As Vikla sends this one long, but can't get it past the first line of defense. And now, little collision there in the midfield, and the ball ends up with Alexander Ziss. And now Cotterill has it down the far side. He plays it into the middle looking for the run of Ziss. Nobody home. And now Scrosoppi's going to have to go all the way back.
So the good thing about for Scrosoppi is that now this is where they can actually get their game settled. They can hold the ball a little bit, get the guys calm down and start to play their own game. Because you can see everything's a little bit too long, or it's a little bit off kilter, and it's a little bit further away than it should be from them.
The other thing that's good for them is there's still about 80 minutes left.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of time remaining in this one as Skublak finds Ellis. Halley on his backside. Nice move there by Ellis to get around him. He sends it down the line to Frankovic. Frankovic being defended by Alejandro Porto Oliva. And that one's going to go out of play, and it's going to be a Simcoe County throw. Good defense there by Porto Oliva. You can hear the Scrosoppi coach. He's trying to get the guys going. He's trying to get the energy back up, and I don't blame him.
Well, you know what? This is where he earns his money. It's like he's prepared these guys, but now they need to step up. And this is where the motivation comes in.
As this one is flicked on, but Frankovic is going to get a foot to it. And it's chipped down the line. Nice move there by Porto Oliva. And on the clearance, Benitez Hernandez keeps it in. Beats his player. And then he's taken out hard by Manveer Gill. And the ref's going to have a little chat there with Gill.
It's a professional foul.
Yeah.
I know that for some of the listeners that might be something that you don't say, well, no, that, there's more to it than that. No, it's a good hard foul. That's the game.
I wouldn't have been shocked if he got a yellow card there, though.
No, I wouldn't
just
have been.
For the ferocity of the
yeah, the distance that he took to take him out and commit the foul. But at the same time, the referee right now is managing the game. It's like there's no point in putting in a yellow card unless he feels that he truly has to manage the game.
Porto Oliva looking for an outlet here. Able to get it out to Justin Earl on the far side, and he's going to restart there for Simcoe, trying to find the forward ball. Gets it into the feet of Jean-Claude Lawson. Lawson beats one player. Good job there by Carlo DeFieo to track back. And now Simcoe will reset once again. Chip forward, unable to get there. And now Scrosoppi can't get the ball out. Benitez Hernandez with the strike. Good save there by Vikla. And Luka Frankovic tries to clear, but there's Halley right there to keep it in. He goes down the line, makes Luke Rankin slide, and there's another chance there for Simcoe off the post. Good opportunities coming for the Rovers. And this one's played back into the box, looking for Halley on the far side. It's going to be cleared. Cody Ellis looking to chip it forward. He can't as Porto Oliva brings it down, and now Simcoe back with Halley. Halley to Porto Oliva, plays it across. Overhead kick just missed, but the challenge isn't gone away yet for Rovers as they are piling on the pressure right now. Al George into the feet of Benitez Hernandez. Back to Al George. He's going to go out to the far side now, and they're going to slow things down a little bit. What a little...
Simcoe and their ball movement is causing fits and nightmares for Scrosoppi.
Their ball control, period. They are able to get every ball under control and make the right pass. It's been truly incredible so far early in this game.
Scrosoppi has to find something that can actually get them settled. Maybe this is it.
As Cotterill brings this one forward, Skublack's down the line. He's going to be one-on-one with Justin Earl, the captain, trying to block off the number one player in goals in the league, and he fouls him deep in the corner. It will be a Scrosoppi free kick in a very dangerous spot.
Yeah, and Earl has a little bit of a disagreement with that, but
every player has a disagreement when there's
whenever they call it, whenever they get called for the foul.
16th minute here at the Ontario Soccer Centre, and Simcoe County up 2-0, but a very dangerous opportunity coming up for Scrosoppi. Thomas Skublack is the one on the pitch right now after a hard challenge there by Justin Earl. But you know he's not going to leave this match anytime soon,
no.
So he'll get up and get ready to go.
If the therapist had come out, he would have sent the therapist off to the other side and said, get out of here.
As Simcoe has every single player in the box, almost at the 6-yard line and deeper.
Let's see what John Yaku, this Scrosoppi coach, has drawn up here.
Alexander Ziss to take. It's sent in off the head of Cotterill. And it's going to be a Simcoe County throw, but a good chance there for the Scrosoppi team.
Yep. You know, the good thing is that they're starting to now, like, we'll see over the next couple minutes, but they look like they're starting to get their feet back. They've rattled a little bit, especially with that two-minute possession drill that Simcoe ran on them with the shot off the post and a couple other shots.
Yeah, and you mentioned the coach for Scrosoppi, John Yaku. This is a very experienced coach, but also one who hasn't had a ton of experience in League One. So what does he bring to this team that he has obviously done a great job this season?
Because of where he coaches at Toronto Metropolitan University, and because he's been
as this one's sent forward, sorry Jules, Cotterill sends it into the box looking for Skublack. Good block there by Reed. And they're able to clear, but Scrosoppi gets it back, and they're going to try to mount their own pressure field here. As Gill to DeFeo, and they're going to go all the way back for Gallo. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, it's okay. Because of where he's been, see what we get here.
Simcoe able to bring it down with Benitez Hernandez. And he's brought down hard by Joshua Paredes. And we're going to see our first card of the game as Paredes goes into the book. That was a very hard challenge there by the midfielder.
It was a hard challenge. Like I said, the referee's on site. We're another 40 yards away from the ball, so I can't tell if he got ball first or he got man first. From here, for me, it looked like it was ball, but like I said, the referee's right there on site. So,
I think it was more the scissor action of the legs that got him the yellow card.
But as I was saying about John Yaku, the Scrosoppi head coach, the good thing about John is he's basically, to coach at the university level, you have to be almost a teacher. So that's what he's done with this group. He's actually fine-tuned them and made the adjustments that he's needed to make, both in-game and in training. And this is the reason why they're not out of this game, and they won't be out of this game all game, regardless.
Absolutely, and he's done a fantastic job with this squad this season. Obviously,
surprising a ton, finishing first in the league. Halley with it here for the Rovers. Sends it down the line for Benitez Hernandez. He plays it into the box looking for somebody in a white jersey, but lots of Scrosoppi players back to defend. But Simcoe still has control of it. Here they go down the far side, playing it long, looking at the back post, and this one's just going to roll harmlessly out of play.
The one thing with Scrosoppi is that because he had a group that already was vigilant in the way they played, and then he got in Alexander Ziss, he got in a couple other players that brought that extra oomph to the team. That's the reason why they were able to finish first. Now the question is, can they finish it off?
That's a great question, as this one's flicked on to Skublack. Tajay Reed there defending. He'll pass it back to Frankovic. He beats his player. Now he plays it down the line to Ellis, but way too far down the line, and unfortunate ball there, and Scrosoppi is going to have to clean those ones up moving forward.
The issue that Scrosoppi is having in the early part of the match is that they'll have a man in the middle of the park in between three guys, but what's happening is that Simcoe is actually shading a man into that passing lane so that you can't make that pass. So then they've now either got to cycle the ball backwards or they've got to play a long ball, almost taking them out of their comfort zone.
But it's interesting because watching their game last week, you would have said it's completely different because they were playing a lot of balls over the top, looking for the head of Cotterill and looking for the head of Skublack to do a flick on to the other one, making a run. It's very different from what you just described. So it's interesting to see how their tactics have maybe changed a little bit in the playoffs.
It also depends, too, on your opponent. And the opponent they're playing is, no disrespect meant to the Blue Devils, but the Blue Devils play a different defensive style than Simcoe County's playing right now. Simcoe County they haven't deviated from the discipline the entire game.
They're playing a very high line too, which is interesting. They're not giving Scrosoppi any time on the ball as this one's sent out by Vikla for a throw. They're giving no time to the Scrosoppi players to set anything up.
Jason Beckford has set them up nicely, the Simcoe County coach. He's actually set them up brilliantly so that they're actually executing.
As Paredes gets this one in the middle of the park, he's going to send it out to Cotterill. Amari Cotterill struggling with the control there, but he gets it and now looks forward for DeFeo. DeFeo back to Paredes. Looking down the line for Ziss. He's one-on-one there, trying to find a little bit of help here. And he'll get it back to Gill, who cuts back outside into the feet of DeFeo. And now this ball into the box is easily handled by Earl, but a little bit of miscommunication, and Cotterill's able to step in. And now Ziss is dispossessed here by Benitez Hernandez. And he's going to get it out to this near side to Portal Oliva. Benitez Hernandez to Al George in the midfield. He looks forward to Karaganakis. And now Paredes with the ball, trying to play it over the top for Skublack. He can't, but the knockdown falls to Cotterill. He goes out to this near side to Ellis. His ball to the far side to Ziss, and he drops it off to Paredes, but a good poke there by Paul Garakanakos. And now here comes Simcoe with numbers moving forward. Garakanakos carrying it through the midfield. Plays it out to Halley, and a good poke there by Frankovic. He's going to slow down the Simcoe attack. Little battle there in the midfield, and Scrosoppi will come away with the ball with Ziss. Ziss playing it long for Skublack. He's in behind, Bajman coming out, and Mann is able to clear. But a good opportunity there for Skublack to maybe poke that one by.
Yeah, Bajman got there first.
Al George plays it outside to the captain, Earl. He'll go out to the far side there to Cameron De Silva. And back to Earl. But we've talked about how this Simcoe County team is playing defense as a team as opposed to just the back line. Their leading tackler is one of their leading players, Benitez Hernandez. He's their attacking midfielder. He has the most tackles so far in the game with 10.
But that's the good thing. There's a concept that sometimes we in Canada forget, is that everywhere that you don't have the ball, you are still the first defender.
Absolutely. This one's played over the top to Jean-Claude Lawson. Karakanakos to this near side to Halley. Halley steps up, takes a strike, and just misses the near post.
Nice strike. I would have personally gone across the keeper, but, you know, that's the reason why he's on the field and I'm up here in the booth.
Lots of defenders were coming from that side. That's probably his thought, is that he didn't want to get it blocked. But regardless, that one will end up off target. But another good opportunity for the Simcoe County Rovers to add to their early lead.
The good thing about Simcoe, what Simcoe's doing well right now, is that if you look at the way that they're aligned defensively so that they always have numbers. Wherever they are on the ball, it's 2 guys to 1. Now, when you can hear Coach John Yaku barking out orders. But the other side too is that when Scrosoppi has the ball, they're trying to set up like odd man rushes and odd man control, but
nice
they're not quite doing it.
Sorry, Jules.
No, it's okay. They're trying to set up like two and three guys with the ball, and you're not quite getting the numbers because Simcoe is getting their numbers back.
And I spoke to the head coach of Simcoe County, Jason Beckford. Ethan, his son, obviously playing in the CPL now and was a great player in this league last year. Jason Beckford talked about his recruiting this year and how important that was for this squad, because instead of bringing in players, period, he went out and found League One Ontario players, guys who he knew were going to be able to compete at this level. And he named a couple guys. Halley, obviously a CPL player last season, but someone who he knew he would be able to play at this level. That was something he was very, very key on when I spoke to him pregame.
Well, you can have the best game plan in the world. If you don't have the players to execute it, then all the great plans go for naught.
DeFeo into Paredes. He chips it forward, looking for the run of Skublack. He's in behind, and Bajman comes out. I think he did get clipped by the striker, and he's going to get carded for that one.
That's a hard one.
He got the ball first.
I know. That's a really hard one for a player because you don't want to actually hurt somebody, but
No.
At the same time, a striker of that quality and a finisher of that quality is going to go for the ball. And that's the Russian roulette you play sometimes.
And there was no intent in that one. Absolutely not. It's an unfortunate play for Skublack and an unfortunate yellow. Now we just have to hope that Mann is okay because he's been such a key player for this Simcoe team all year.
Well, exactly. I think he got clipped, and hopefully it's only in the stomach and only just winded him.
Yeah.
And it's nothing more serious than that.
As the trainer's being called on now. So we're going to have a bit of a delay here, but as soon as that whistle went, you heard John Yaku yelling at his team to get in. He has some words that he wants to say to them, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I think, to be quite honest with you, they've actually calmed down since the second goal, which is good. And I think now, just John coaches with energy. So what he's doing right now is he's trying to calm his guys down. His guys would expect nothing different in a situation like this, and they'll be able to come back from it. It's just a question of just getting them settled.
Absolutely.
And for a lot of them, I'm not sure exactly how many players actually have big game experience, because that's one thing that I spoke to both coaches about before the game. And both of them had said, all the work's done. Now it's a question of how do guys show up.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what both coaches said, as you mentioned. Getting a chance to speak with both John and Jason, they said pretty much the same thing, is that all the work is done. They want to see their players just play entertaining football. And so far, Simcoe has lived up to that billing.
Yep. Well, and you know what? And I can't really take too much away from Scrosoppi, is that they made a couple of mistakes, and they got punished for them. Now, they still seem to be following their game plan. They still seem to be on point with their game plan. It's just they've now got to make the adjustments based on what Simcoe did, based on what happened way back during the season. And that's basically what has happened.
Well, Bajman is up and standing on his feet. Looks like he will be able to continue, which is great news for the Rovers and great news for all fans of this game, because we want to see the best players out there tonight.
Exactly.
And we saw a nice little moment there from Skublak, who went up and just gave him a fist bump to be like, hey, no, nothing intentional there.
Yeah, and you could see it was nothing intentional. As an attacking player, and especially as a striker, your job is to put the ball past the goalkeeper. If the goalkeeper gets in the way, then you put the ball in the goalkeeper in the back of the net.
As Bajman is going to get us restarted here after the injury, and he'll send this one long, looking for the head of one of his players. Halley down the sideline, and it's just a little bit too far, and it's going to be a Scrosoppi throw. So they're now looking for a ball. And Luke Rankin finally finds the one on the field for Frankovic. Frankovic throws it into Paredes, who once again is between the two center backs, something I feel like I'm going to be saying a lot today. He sends this one forward, looking for Zis. He gets it to Cody Ellis, who has switched sides here with Amari Cotterill. And that cross is going to go in behind for a goal kick. So early change here for Scrosoppi as Ellis and Cotterill switch sides.
Yeah, basically I think that's to get Ellis a little bit more room. So then that way he can actually, maybe they see something that they figure he's a little bit quicker than the man on that side.
And we didn't see that in the semifinal match that they played. So this is new for them in the playoffs, but we'll see if this opens anything up for them. As this one's played long, Victor Gallo goes up for it. No one can get ahead to that, and then Rankin able to bring it down. Gallo plays it forward to Zis. He can't control it, and Tajay Reed just pounds it forward to get it out of his zone.
Well, they can set up now, so they can set up in their 4-1-4-1.
This one's sent forward. Skublak looking for the flick for Cotterill. He can't get ahead to it. And now Simcoe's going to try to play out of it. Portal Oliva into Justin Earl. He sends it forward, looking for Benitez Hernandez, as Rankin does a good job to climb. And it's going to be a Scrosoppi free kick there.
Yeah, he backed into him. It's like you can keep the space that you have. You can't go over top of the man, and you can't back into the man to take him out.
And a good job by Rankin to find his space and get up early to force that foul.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, I got to give the referee kudos. He's managing the situation, managing the game well.
So far, so good early on. We'll see how tempers hold the rest of the May.
Exactly.
We're 32 minutes into this match. If you missed the first 5 minutes, you missed a lot, as Simcoe County took an early 2-0 lead, and Scrosoppi still trying to claw their way back in with a goal. Vikla to reset here for Scrosoppi. He sends this one forward, looking for Cody Ellis. He wins the knockdown, and now Alexander Zis with it. Paredes sends it out to Gallo. Him and Rankin also switch sides as well. I don't know if that's a temporary thing or a permanent thing, but they switch sides of the center back. That one's played down the line looking for Frankovic. He can't find it, and Halley's able to chip it forward to Benitez Hernandez and keep it in, only for a moment, as it's going to be a throw.
That switch has probably been done maybe because he probably has a little bit more pace on to keep up with Halley.
Yeah. But this is the center back change, which is interesting. I don't usually see that very often.
Well, in there, what they're doing there is that if you're covering center back isn't as quick as the guy who's going to beat the wing back, then you want to make sure that you've got somebody who can actually do the recovery.
As this one's kicked out by De Silva, and we're going to get a Scrosoppi corner. And it looks like it's going to be Amari Cotterill to take it. Last week they had Alexander Zis taking every corner and free kick until he was taken off, so this is a change for them as well. But it's a left-footed in-swinger from Cotterill.
Well, look who's sitting there on the short.
With Zis on the short. It's definitely going to be a Zis corner. It was just a little mind games. Left-footed corner.
Yeah,
exactly. They thought they might be able to catch them. As this one's sent to the top of the box to Paredes. He lines it up, puts it on, and just over the top of the net.
Great execution, just a little short, just a little over the top, and when I say a little short on the delivery. But we now know why they were trying to do that.
But it's interesting because we once again saw all of the Simcoe County players from the penalty spot in.
Yeah.
Something that Scrosoppi was trying to take advantage of there. As this one sent long, the flick cannot go. As this one's going to be a free kick here for Scrosoppi. And that Paredes shot was the first shot that they've had all game. Nothing on target unless you count Skublack's attempt that ended up in the free kick, which never ended up making it to the goal line.
Yeah, well, and that's unusual. That's unusual.
As there's clattering here, and it's going to be a Scrosoppi free kick again. As this one's sent out to the far side. Paredes' ball is intercepted. And Simcoe's going to be able to reset deep. Al George to the near side to Portal Oliva. And now he's got some space to run. He's going to play it down the line for Halley, but just inside too much. And Frankovic with a great track back there to win the ball back.
That's what you expect.
Experienced player like Frankovic is exactly what you're expecting from him. As this one's sent down the line for Cotterill to chase. He's got Tajay Reed there with him. It's one-on-one. Cotterill cuts to the outside, tries to play the ball into the box, and it's over the head of Skublack. Simcoe County is going to be able to bring this one out and control. Benitez Hernandez brings it down. He's got Manveer Gill in front of him. Now he's going to cut into the middle, and it's Rankin instead. Now he's going to play around with it a little bit. Karagianakos plays it out to the near side to Halley. Halley runs at Frankovic. Goes to the outside, tries to get it into the box, and a good block there, but it's going to be a corner kick here for the Rovers.
And it looks like the Scrosoppi subs don't agree.
Well, Frankovic definitely didn't agree. He immediately pointed for the goal kick.
Exactly.
That's kind of what you expect.
It could be gamesmanship too. So
absolutely, got to get in the ref's head early, right? As we're now seeing the Simcoe County leading goal scorer, Benitez Hernandez, getting ready to take this one and put it into the box. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger here. And a little touch there from Earl, but a good block by Skublack, who's back defending the corner. Karagianakos can't control it, and now here comes Manveer Gill with the ball. Plays it down the line looking for Ellis, and that's a late challenge there. And an easy yellow card.
No arguments there.
No, the player just kept walking. And that's Karagianakos who picks up that card. An easy call for the referee.
Again, professional foul. It hurts, but it's a professional foul because if he doesn't come in and he misses that tackle, they're gone down the wing.
The funny thing was, though, the ball that Gill played was out of play by the time the tackle
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
As Victor Gallo will send this one forward. Looking for the head of Skublack. Skublack with the header. Zis brings it down, but unable to keep control of it there. And an opportunity goes the wayside for Scrosoppi.
Yeah, it's really strange. I kind of expected a little bit more on the free kicks. Like, I know that they like to try and find their strikers, that is Scrosoppi does.
Yeah.
On their free kicks, especially those long diagonals. But I expected a little bit more creativity.
Well, we got the creative corner.
This is true.
It's still early. We got lots of time to see some
Exactly.
creativity. As Tajay Reed has this one here. Sends it forward, but Frankovic is there to intercept. And now Gill with it in the midfield. Passes it off. And a little 1-2, and now Cotterill with it down the left side. He cuts inside. Passes it back to Gill. And they're going to go out the other side to Rankin. Rankin to DeFeo. Into Paredes. He's going to go back to the captain. And Scrosoppi's going to reset. Looking for a way to break down this Rovers defense. He sends this one forward, but this is going to go right into the waiting hands of Mon. And an easy save, if we even count that as a shot on target.
Well, it's number 2.
Number 2. First shot on target, second shot total.
Yeah, exactly.
This one's sent long by Mann. Easy header there for Gallo. He finds Paredes. But his pass to DeFeo is intercepted. Luckily, lots of Scrosoppi players back, and now Paredes is able to control and send this one forward for Skublak to chase. Mon way out of his net, out of his box even, to head that one away. Simcoe having a little problems getting out of their end right now, but a good tackle there by Javier Al George, and then a shoulder-to-shoulder late as Rankin's taken down.
He's got to be careful because he's sitting on a yellow card right now, isn't he? No?
That's Benitez Hernandez with that tackle.
But he's got it.
You still have to be smart, regardless.
You got to be smart. If you're gonna track the man and you're late, then you're looking to commit the foul. If you don't want to be late, then you got to get in front of the man.
DeFeo plays this one down the line to Cody Ellis. He's being challenged by Javier Al George. There's two Simcoe players down in that corner, and smart play there by Ellis just to knock it off for a Scrosoppi throw.
But again, speaking to what we were talking about earlier, notice there's two Simcoe players there. And if he gets beat, if the first man gets beat, the second one is there to help clean up the mess.
As this throw goes the wayside, and it'll go once again for Scrosoppi. Carlo DeFeo with the throw here. Gets it into Alexander Ziss. And now back to Paredes. Into the middle to Manveer Gill. They're going to come to the near side to Gallo, but he'll go back to Gill. And look at the press here from the Rovers, and now they got the ball, and they have numbers forward. It's Aja Halley, but a great challenge there by Luke Rankin to stop that attack.
Great challenge. Halley just pushed the ball too far ahead. Now we got something going the other way.
Skublak now running down the left side, trying to get into the box. He does, but it's going to be a corner kick for Scrosoppi as Taja Reed puts it out of play.
Surgical tackle. Because that's if you miss that, that's a penalty.
That was two surgical tackles on two straight attacks. Rankin with a great challenge on Halley's bad touch. And then Reed gets Skublak on the other end. And now we have a Scrosoppi corner. Ziss to take, in swinger. He puts it to the far post, looking for Cotterill. He finds him off the post. What an opportunity there for Scrosoppi. As Cotterill's header just goes off the post under the defender's foot.
That's what they need, though. They need to create those opportunities, and they're now starting to create them.
When they play those balls into the box, they're getting the headers. It's just, that was the first one that's been anywhere close to the target, as this chips this one forward looking for Skublak. He's able to get it, turns on his defender, plays it down the line for Frankovic, but he's challenged by Porto Oliva. Frankovic's ball into the box, looking for Cotterill, finds Ellis instead, and Ellis' shot is just over top.
Couldn't get it to settle.
And it's going to be a goal kick after that, but what an opportunity for Scrosoppi.
That's the movement that I expected from Scrosoppi, and now it's starting to happen now. 2 point blank opportunities.
We're in the 42nd minute here. Simcoe leading 2-0, but there was two great opportunities for Scrosoppi, and that's what we expected from this high-powered offense.
Exactly. They're now starting to find their legs, and they're now starting to find their feet. So now to the end of the half, it's going to be exciting.
This one sent long, looking for Claude Lawson. He flicks it forward for Karagianakos, but no luck there, and now it goes all the way back to Vaikla. Paredes' ball forward looking for Ellis.
That's a great ball.
He's got a ton of room to chase this one. He's one-on-one here with Cameron De Silva. De Silva slips, but Ellis cuts back to him. And his cross is going to be blocked, but another good opportunity for Scrosoppi. And they're starting to build momentum here.
Exactly. The momentum that they had, that they were hoping to build early, that didn't materialize, is now starting to materialize.
And Ziss going to take another corner, and we saw a short one from this side last time. The last corner ended up being a long one to Cotterill. This one will be an outswinger once again, and looking at that far post, Rankin's going to give chase as no one was able to get ahead on it. Gill over to DeFeo. He sends it to Paredes. And now back to Ziss. Ziss cuts into the middle, plays it across. And there's Cotterill wide open, and he's not going to miss that one.
That one, no. That was well done.
Amari Cotterill brings Scrosoppi back, and it's 2-1.
But that's what we were talking about earlier. That movement from side to side, they finally found a way to make it work. They found a seam. All the defense had shifted to one side, and you had the goal scorer standing on the backside all by himself.
That was incredible movement by Scrosoppi. The attackers all dropped back. Cotterill was there by himself, and he's not going to miss from that far out.
No. And that's what patience brings, and that's what's been missing from Scrosoppi the entire half. Now they're starting, in the last 4 or 5 minutes, they've actually been able to be patient. They've actually calmed down, and they found their feet, and they found a goal. It was
amazing to think that's only his second goal this League One season, playoffs and regular season combined.
But you know what? He put that away like a veteran, like somebody who knows how to finish, and that's what you need.
You knew he knew what he was doing when he got there, but it's just impressive to think that's only his second goal. As now here comes Scrosoppi. Paredes dispossessed Halley, and now he's going to look for Skublak. Can't find him as Taja Reed is there, and he just forced it out of play. And Simcoe is now back on their heels as Scrosoppi's momentum is carrying them forward.
Well, it's a game of swings, and this swing is now gone for Scrosoppi, and Simcoe looks a little bit rattled, which, to be quite honest with you, all they need to do is catch their breath and get out of the half.
And we're into the final minute of regulation time here as we await the announcement for how long added will be. But here comes Scrosoppi. Zis with the left-footed cross to the far post looking for Cotterill, but that one's just going to be a little bit too long. It'll be 4 minutes of added time here, and we still have a lot of time to play in this half. As we've seen, it takes 1 moment.
You know what? That's about right. 4 minutes is about right.
Three
think
goals,
about
the injury.
3 goals, the injury, the goalkeeper, the other injury
To
Skublak early in the half. You know what? This is going to be a fun 4 minutes.
It's going to be a fun 4 minutes for sure as Bajman gets his team settled as he's going to take this goal kick. But, wow, a very entertaining first half here, to say the least, Julian.
The only thing you could ask for is maybe another goal either way.
There's still a lot of time for that one, so we should expect more.
I'm sorry, I'm greedy.
Plays this one forward looking for Karaganakos. But it's Paredes who wins the header. Great job by him to come out of nowhere to win that one, and he forces Simcoe to kick this one out for a throw. And Scrosoppi just wants to get this ball back into play and keep playing the way they have been for the last 10 or so minutes.
Yep.
Sent down the line for Paredes to flick on. And now Skublak tries to bring it down, and he's fouled from behind by Justin Earl. And they're going to play this one quickly. And once again, the ball was rolling. Cotterill was wide open on this side.
Yeah, but you know what?
A little bit further out.
That's smart, though, because a lot of times guys try to put the ball down, and they put it down, and it moves. And if you can catch it before it moves, then you get the ball. But that's kind of hard to hit a ball, put it down dead, and hit the ball at the same time you're putting it down dead, and then hit it on a 70-yard diagonal.
As Paredes tries to play this one in, and we're held up here. Rankin was actually clear. The ball was second ball on the near side, and Scrosoppi will get another chance to take it, but that was an interesting moment there.
Yeah. And Coach John Yaku is not pleased.
Paredes to take once again the left-footed in-swinger.
Third time maybe a charm?
As he plays it through. Good header there by Jean-Claude Lawson. And Simcoe able to bring it under control. Benitez Hernandez carrying it down this right side. He's got 2 players on the inside, Halley and Claude Lawson. This sent to the far side to Lawson. He tries to chip it back across. Manveer Gill's there, but he can't clear it. Benitez Hernandez cuts into the middle. His left-footed strike right into the waiting hands of Vikla. Good opportunity there for Simcoe, but nothing doing as Scrosoppi sends this one forward quickly, trying to get things going. De Silva able to head this one down and slow it down for Simcoe.
This is the end-to-end action that we expected, and now we're getting it at the tail end of the half.
It's only taking 45 minutes.
Yeah, they needed the warm-up.
As this one's chipped forward there by Benitez Hernandez, and Scrosoppi will go all the way back. Good weak-footed clearance there by Vikla. Don't see that from many keepers. But Benitez Hernandez with the ball now. He beats 1, beats 2, keeps carrying it forward. Now Luke Rankin does a good job to force it to the outside. And it's going to be a goal kick. Great job there by the defender.
Yes, it was, especially when the goal kick.
Rankin has been fantastic this game, in my opinion. I know he got beat for the 1 goal down the line, but he was the secondary defender. Other than that, he has been right where he needed to be the entire match.
Well, that's going to happen even with experienced defenders. From time to time, you make the mistake, and it might cost you something, but if you can get it back, then, no harm. You learn from it the next time.
As this one sent forward, but Benitez Hernandez was offside, and that will do it for the first half. Incredible scenes we've seen. 2 early goals from the Rovers, 1 late goal from Scrosoppi. Everything to play for in the final 45.
Can't wait.
Can't wait either. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll recap the first half. We'll look at some of the stats, and we'll get you ready for the second 45. You're listening to the League One Ontario final here on M2 TV.
League One Ontario would like to acknowledge the following partners. CIBC, the lead partner for Canada Soccer, the Canadian Premier League and League One. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Derby Star, the official ball of the Canadian Premier League and preferred match ball for League One Ontario. Macron, work hard, play harder. Vibrant Performance, Canada's most trusted brand for automotive race parts and accessories. The Canadian Premier League, where Canadian soccer takes flight. Ontario Soccer, encouraging us all to play, inspire, and unite. And Canada Soccer. Sign up for the new Canada Red fan membership program to get the inside track on national team tickets, exclusive merchandise, and other promotions.
And give you more entertaining action in the second half. What a game so far.
I don't know how much more entertaining it can get. That was an amazing first half. Great to see Scrosoppi get back into the game, get on the scoreboard right before halftime. I think these last 45 minutes are going to be a barn burner for this very big crowd that we have out here tonight.
Dino, this year, the league has seemed to be growing by leaps and bounds, both with fan interest as well as with the quality of player. Now, what do you see as the future going forward for next year with the league?
Well, I think, Julian, that with our new structure that we've got coming into place next year, our new competition pyramid with 3 tiers, we're expecting that our premier divisions, both on the women's and men's side, are going to be incredibly competitive. The level is going to be very, very high. And then with the risk and or promise of promotion and relegation, that means that our second divisions and our third divisions are going to have everything to play for every week. This year we talked about every point matters, and it did. As we saw right up to the last game of the season, last kick almost of the regular season on the men's side, determined who was going to stay in the Premier and who was going down to the championship. So, I expect we're going to just see more of that and just every game being tough.
We've seen a lot of conversation about the promotion and relegation, and we've also seen the growth of League One, not just in Ontario, but across the country. What can you accredit that to, and just the impressive growth that we've seen over the last couple of years?
I think there's a lot of factors at play that are driving the interest in our sport at all levels and in all provinces. Obviously, as you know, we have League Ones in Alberta coming online, BC, Quebec, and here in Ontario with other ones in Atlantic Canada and the Prairies coming in the next couple of years. The growth of the CPL is a huge driver, obviously. The prospect of a women's professional league coming in 25 is huge as well. Pathways are being created. Opportunities for players to achieve their dreams in the game are becoming more and more achievable, and leagues like League One are critical for that to happen.
Dino, so promotion and relegation, is it something that, I know it's been mandated, I know that you guys are mandating it now, is it something that you think is a long time coming, or is it something that we're now in the position where it's something that has to happen now?
I really believe it has to happen now, and we were starting to see some strain in terms of parachuting in new clubs right into the only level of competition we had, and there were big deltas forming between top and bottom. So creating tiers that allow clubs to settle to the level that they're best suited for at that moment, I think is good for the overall competition. I think for interest, it's going to be huge. Imagine when we have promotion relegation playoffs next year. We're going to have crowds like this for that. It's going to be amazing. I think for us, it's a natural evolution, and we're really excited to see how it all plays out next year.
Exciting times.
Before we let you go, Dino, I want to ask you 2 quick questions. First, how impressive is the crowd here today? It's packed on the spectator side, an incredible scene. And second, what are you expecting from this second half?
The audience doesn't shock me. When I knew what our 2 teams were going to be, I told our team to anticipate a really big crowd. These Simcoe fans showed up around 4:30. with their flags and their megaphones, and that's amazing. They did it last week at home too. They were there an hour and a half before kickoff. Fantastic. In terms of the second half, I think we got an amazing 45 minutes coming. Scrosoppi's a very experienced team. They came out of the gate slow, but they started coming into the game. Simcoe has a ton of talent. They're capable of scoring on the break at any time. I think everybody's going to get their money's worth today.
Absolutely. Dino, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, it's second 45 time right here on M2 TV.
Thanks, guys. Nice shot, though. The shot was nice. Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it.
Everybody running behind on the hills. Like if they were getting ready for the Sound of Music or something.
Do we get
Now we just have the cables over top. So. There we go.
Tell Ro whenever he wants us to. We can go live.
Entertaining first half. Can't complain about that. I wouldn't imagine so. Final between Scrosoppi and Simcoe County Rovers FC, number 1 and number 2, and it's the number 2 team in the regular season leading 2-1. So, I mean, they're keeping their numbers, I guess. But what an entertaining first half. Nick McVicker alongside Julian Carr. And Julian, we saw 2 early goals from Simcoe, and then a long time in between to try to figure out what was going on by both teams before Scrosoppi got their late goal to cut the deficit to 1.
Yeah, it speaks to a final. You never know how certain people are going to react in finals. Sometimes players they'll go, and then all of a sudden they run out of gas, and then there's other times when it takes a while to get wound up, almost like a toy. And we saw what happened when they decided, when Scrosoppi got their legs, they all of a sudden got a goal. They got a post, they hit a post, and they got a goal.
As they're trying to get off and running early as they get us underway here. De Silva sending it forward, looking for Benitez Hernandez. He can't do anything with that one. And Luka Frankovic now has control of it in the midfield. He hits the referee with that one, and it's going to be brought back.
The big question is, how is everybody going to respond coming out of the dressing room in the second half?
Yeah.
Simcoe went to the dressing room and had their conversation. Scrosoppi just pulled themselves to a different part of the field and had their conversation. So, different tactics again. We'll see what happens.
As Gallo sends this one back to Vikla, and the captain commanding things early on in this second half. Skublak goes up for this one. Cotterill running in behind. He tries to get there, but Cody Ellis ends up with the ball, and he cannot get a good shot. Earl with the interception block there. But a good opportunity early here for Scrosoppi as they have control of the ball again. Zis on the near side, his cross just a little bit too close to the keeper, and Bajman is able to control it and slow things down for the Rovers.
Again, we'll talk about it. And Scrosoppi has come out with a vengeance. It looks like Simcoe, the first couple minutes are looking to find their feet and find the rhythm of what they had early in the first half.
Well, they had to do the long walk to the change room, so
They're
they're now just getting stretched out. As this long ball makes it all the way back to Victor Gallo, and his ball forward to DeFeo is just a little bit too long, and Simcoe will get a throw. No substitutions from either side. Not really a surprise here, as both teams are fairly well fit now that we're at the final, but it's the same 11 from each side.
Also, there weren't any mistakes really per se that were punishable. Like, yeah, we had 3 goals, but it could be 2-1 Scrosoppi over Simcoe, and then we could have also possibly had 3 goals for Simcoe and 2 for Scrosoppi.
Well, let's be fair. It would be 2 goals for Cotterill, as he would have had both.
Yes, exactly.
In the first
exactly.
Half. But yeah, this scoreline 2-1 is almost safe for both teams.
Yes.
After what we saw in the first half. As De Silva gets us restarted with the throw, and this one's sent to the far side here. And Simcoe will reset with Reed. Into Al George. He plays it out to Halley. Lots of space on that right side for Aja Halley. One-on-one with Cotterill. His ball into the box looking for Benitez Hernandez. He's able to control it. Tries to find Karajanakos, but his shot is just a little wide. To recap from the first half, the goals were by Jean-Claude Lawson from Simcoe, as well as Paul Karaganakos, and obviously the Scrosoppi goal, we've already mentioned his name once, Amari Cotterill on there with their strike. And we're expecting a lot from these attacking players. We talked about it in the first half, and it's not really a surprise what we saw. As this one's chipped forward, Sis tries to get away with a little bit of a handball, but the ref is smart enough to see that one, and he blows this one down. One thing that maybe is a little bit surprising, we talked about the players to watch being Thomas Skublak for Scrosoppi and Benitez Hernandez for Simcoe. Well, we talked about them from an attacking standpoint, but Benitez Hernandez was the one who led all players in the first half with 9 tackles.
Yeah, he hasn't disappointed
from the front.
He hasn't disappointed, and again, it goes to what I spoke about earlier, that when you're out of possession of the ball, if you're the closest man to the ball, regardless wherever you are on the field, you're the first defender.
Absolutely.
And he's demonstrated that, and if there's with all the young people that are watching.
As this one is sent forward and giving chase here. They'll bring it back, and this is Claude Lawson. Tries to play this one to the far post, and it gets there, but what an opportunity. And it'll go for a goal kick. That was a great chance there for the Rovers.
It was.
Off of a almost harmless looking
cross. Yeah, something that seemed almost harmless.
Claude
and it was going to just float away aimlessly.
And it was, I believe that was Gervonta Lane on the far side who couldn't get a foot to it. But good opportunity there from the Rovers as Vikla will get us restarted here. And his long ball looking for Skublak. It's going to go over his head, and Cotterill tried to bend down and get that one, but he couldn't. And now Skublak is in a little bit of a battle there, and he loses out on that one. That was Alejandro Portal Oliva with that challenge. Good job by Frankovic to stop Halley there. And now this through ball trying to find Skublak, not going to get there, but he wins the second ball, tries to find Ellis, and Simcoe's just trying to clear their lines. This played over the top, and Benitez Hernandez one-on-one Victor Gallo, and he gets the foot in well there. It's going to end up being a goal kick, and what a play there by the captain.
Now, what we missed behind the scenes, I don't know if anybody saw it on camera, was the collision between the Simcoe player and getting into the play as the follow-up in the attack, and the defensive alignment of Scrosoppi player, and it just ended up being a collision behind the play, and good on the referee to not stop it.
Yeah, neither player saw the other one coming. That was the biggest issue. Usually you'll get one of those guys who knows exactly what they're doing, but that was not the case this time.
And gratefully, both players just got up a little bit frustrated. I've seen those where they end up running into each other and somebody ends up badly hurt, if not both players end up badly hurt.
As this one goes out of play for a Simcoe County throw. As Cameron Da Silva will get us restarted here. He's looking for the run of Benitez Hernandez. He's able to keep it in. Good tackle there by Victor Gallo, but he's fallen on hard there by Benitez Hernandez. He's grabbing the back of his head.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on there is he kind of got a forearm shiver from the attacker falling.
He's not coming out of this game.
Cotterill with a nice move, and now he's on the run, gets into the box trying to get the ball across and get a call, but it's going to end up being a corner regardless. Good effort there from the Scrosoppi winger.
That's got to be something. If there is a call, it's got to be more definitive than that. It can't be. The referee's not going to give, in a game of this magnitude, he's not going to give a call like that.
Absolutely not. He was almost on his way down when he tried to play it into the box, and then we saw it go. He did the right thing and put it off of a defender.
Yep.
And now it's Alexander Ziss. We saw last time they had a corner from this side. It was off the head of Amari Cotterill to the post. Let's see what he does on this in-swinger. Goes middle of the net. Ellis! Wide open header there, and he just could not bring that one down.
Well,
I was even shocked by that one.
Yeah, exactly. Ziss did exactly what we figured was going to happen. He placed it in the right spot, and Ellis just put it over the net. He's got to get over the top of that ball. Maybe he physically couldn't. But
not a guy that you see winning many headers, Cody Ellis. Not the tallest player in the box, but he did a good job to get up to that one.
Exactly.
And get it down.
The question that I'm sure Coach Jason Beckford's asking, who had him? Because he was so alone that, honestly, you could have wondered where he was.
This one is sent forward here. And now Skublack's going to chase with two defenders around him. Does a good job to get around one. Keeps the ball in on the goal line, and he's going to win a free kick. Great job there from the Scrosoppi striker.
Yep, and well done by Skublack to keep going. So then that way, and the referee, had to wait for the continuation and then decided to make the call afterwards when he didn't gain an advantage.
So it'll be another corner kick from that dangerous side here not corner kick, free kick from that dangerous side with Alexander Ziss over the ball. They've had a good luck so far from this side, so let's see what he can do here.
In swinging play, two players at the back for one defender. And now you got to wonder where he's going to be putting this in, at what point.
Oh, he's been putting it pretty much 10 yards to 8 yards out every single time. That's where he's aiming, so let's see if he can pull it off. This one's near post and off the defender right into the hands of Mon. But Skublack was right there. Yep. The defender didn't get a foot on that one. Yep. Great ball there by Ziss.
Yeah, again, Ziss is a wizard with that. His dead ball and set pieces, great placement.
It's incredible to see when he's able to do that, how he's able to get it done.
Yeah, just fantastic control, and you can tell there's a lot of practice in there for years.
As this one's sent over the top, and Skublack, who was offside, is now back in play as the defender was the one who last touched it. He's 4 defenders around him, but he's able to get it to Ziss. Ziss to Ellis. Ellis over to the far side, and there's Paredes with the shot off the post.
Save.
What a save there by Bajman.
That was fantastic.
And what play by Scrosoppi. The movement across the top of the box was perfect. And they get a great chance to tie this game up, but Mon with a bigger save.
They picked up where they left off, and you got to wonder now if Simcoe actually was just playing on emotion. Now they're running out of gas because they've been flat for the last 20 minutes now.
This one's played short to Paredes. His straight over the top of the net. But it will be another corner as that one was deflected. So a good opportunity here as this makes the long trek from one corner to the other to take it again.
That's okay. He's just warming up.
I think he's happy to do that in this
exactly.
case. Couple great opportunities early here from the home team as they try to tie this one back up. The outswinger here from Ziss to the far post. Rankin heads it back across the face of the goal. Great up there by the Simcoe County defender. Comes to this near side once again, and Ziss will just play it off. Let's take this opportunity to give a shout out to the proud partners of League One Ontario. CIBC, the lead partner for Canada Soccer, the Canadian Premier League, and League One. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Derby Star, the official ball of the Canadian Premier League and the preferred match ball for League One Ontario. And Macron, work hard, play harder. Great throw here by DiFeo as he puts this one into the box. And it's cleared out by Scrosoppi. Victor Gallo brings it down. And there will reset with Luke Rankin. Paredes into the feet there of Zis. He's challenged very strongly by Portal Oliva. Halley can't control it, and now this one's going to go out for a Simcoe County throw. High-paced, frenetic action in the first 10 minutes of this half. It doesn't get much better than this, Julian. This is a final. It's 2-1. There's a lot going on. Late challenge there by Manveer Gill.
That was a little harsh.
A little bit of a late one.
Yeah, I know. What's a game without one?
As he's getting talked to there by the official. And we can hear the Simcoe coach now getting involved, as first half was mostly the Scrosoppi coach. Now we're hearing a little bit more of Jason Beckford.
Well, you know, he knows what his team can do, and now he's got to try and get his team fired up.
Yeah. And it was great talking to him pre-match. This is a man who's played for Man City. He's coached over in England. It's one of those things where when you get a chance to talk to guys like that who are over here coaching in these League Ones and the CPLs, you got to take the opportunity. And
Exactly.
I had a great chat with him pregame, and he was just saying, honestly, I know what my team has. I know what they're capable of, and we really just can't let the occasion get to us because we have the talent to do it.
And that's the big thing. It's, you know, the different, what separates a good coach from a great coach is a good coach will put together a game plan, won't make adjustments. A great coach will make the adjustments and use his experience to help flower his team and help his team grow and adjust during a game.
Yeah. And let's be honest, there's a lot of good coaches in Canada that haven't been given opportunities to be great. And seeing guys like Jason and John, who came from two very different places, having success at this level is very impressive to see.
Yes, and it's one thing that we need to do more to grow the game in this country. We need to give guys like that an opportunity so that they can become very good coaches, if not great coaches.
Exactly. De Silva gets us back underway. Plays it into the middle to Benitez Hernandez. He tries to beat two players, and there's Halley in behind, but Viklo with the good step to get it.
Fantastic ball.
A beautiful ball by Benitez Hernandez, and it's easy to see why he's one of the lead guys from this Simcoe team. His talent level is just through the roof.
Yes. Yes. He's been all over the place defensively and offensively tonight. He's been a catalyst both ways.
As this will be a Scrosoppi throw, and they're going to reset quickly with Gallo. Into the feet of Gill. And I apologize, Gallo's out here. That was Paredes on the far side. And he's taken down there. That's Joante Lane who took him down. Alexander Zis standing over the ball, looking for it over the top to Skublak. As Mon comes out, doesn't look too confident with that one, but is able to clear. And now Claude Lawson looking to clear, and Zis with the challenge.
So if you want to know the difference between the first half when Scrosoppi looked like they were a little bit challenged in the second half, and since they scored that goal, they're now defending in numbers the same way that Simcoe was earlier. So now guys aren't having a chance to think about it. It's got to be a quicker pass, and a lot of times there's not enough time because they've been closed down by two guys.
It also looks like Simcoe is just not throwing players forward anymore, trying to get those numbers that they had early in the first half. They've decided almost to sit back and not expend too much energy on those chases like they were in the first 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's something that Coach Beckford's seen that he figures that now we've got to pick our spots where we chase. And if you notice, their defensive alignment now even more so is recessed. They're not so much playing the 4-1-4-1 they were playing before.
DeFeo trying to find this ball into the middle to Ellis. Gill back to DeFeo. Paredes sending it to the far side. Now it's Frankovic, and he's going to go all the way back to Paredes. Into the feet of DeFeo, back to Gill.
Scrosoppi's moving much better now than they were in the first part of this game.
Absolutely.
Now, Simcoe's having a harder time closing them down and closing down those lanes as we spoke about before, because
This ball over the top to Cotterill is perfectly placed there by Ziss. He beats one defender, plays it across, trying to find that near post, but no challenge there for Bajman, and it's an easy way to watch it go out for a goal kick.
because of the movement now of the Scrosoppi players, when their player has a ball and the angles that they're giving them and presenting them with, it's much harder for Simcoe to actually react. They're actually moving now. Again, the nerves are gone. It's a game now. And this is what we were hoping to see.
This is what we were expecting to see.
Exactly.
And now we are seeing it in full force from both squads, as Mon will get us reset here. Long ball played forward, trying to be kept in by Claude Lawson. He can't find it, and it'll be a throw-in for the home Scrosoppi team. As the two balls on the field, and the ref is going to restart this one once again.
Emotions are running high.
As expected, it's a final. I would hope they would be running high. If they weren't running high, I think you and me would have to go figure out why. Have a chat with both teams. As this one's sent into a nice open space for Skublak. He plays it out to the far side to Cotterill, who kind of trips on his own feet, but is able to reposition himself. And now Paredes being charged down by Benitez Hernandez. And now this ball played into the box looking for Skublak. Doesn't get through, as Claude Lawson's header away only gets as far as DeFeo. Now he drops it off to Ziss. Ziss looking for a pass out. Nothing doing there, and it's intercepted, but Scrosoppi will be able to maintain control, as it looks like Benitez Hernandez got clipped a little. And now here's the through ball looking for Skublak. Trying to chase this one down. Does a good job and ends up winning a corner for his side.
Yep. That's where that movement in Benitez Hernandez, if he's not in that middle, they're in trouble. And you see that because that side-to-side movement and defending isn't there. So now somebody else has got to go, and especially if he's on the turf holding his foot.
Yeah, it looks like he may have just got stepped on in a incidental contact sort of thing, but
yeah,
when he's not up, there is a bit of an issue for the squad, as Carlo DeFeo is a little bit limping as this ball's played into the far post. Good header back across the face of goal by Frankovic, and I say the guy's limping, and it goes right to him. That was DeFeo who brought that one down. And now this is sent to the far side to Frankovic. His header back across, trying to find somebody who's behind, well, everybody. And now it's Gallo with it. He finds Frankovic once again on his offside. Tries to be Jean-Claude Lawson, but ends up winning a free kick for his side anyway.
So we were speaking about momentum with Simcoe. One of the things that I'm observing with Simcoe, and I don't know if the fans out there are seeing the same thing, is that where Simcoe was holding the ball before, whenever the ball came across, they're now just literally just playing it out. They're not trying to hold it, control it, or anything like. It's like this sense of urgency, like they've got to get it high.
Yeah, the only guy who seems to be playing the ball well right now is Benitez Hernandez, and he plays a beautiful ball over the top for Javante Lane to chase onto, but a good job by DeFeo to win that one back in. That's an interesting one. The linesman flags for a foul, points for a Simcoe free kick, and the ref says otherwise and points for a Scrosoppi one. You don't see that very often.
He's closer than I am. I'll give him that.
It's closer than us, but the linesman was right there.
Like I said.
Regardless, Scrosoppi gets it underway quickly, and Manveer Gill is taken down by the attacking midfielder, Karagianakos. The fans are getting involved in this one. We got a chance to talk to Dino Rossi, president of League One, at half, and man, he was over the moon with the turnout today, and he knew what it was going to be like. But this crowd is incredible, filling all the stands, all the way across the front fence. And now here comes Simcoe here. Benitez Hernandez with the ball at his feet. The most dangerous player for the Rovers, gets into the box. He's taken down, and it's an easy call for the ref.
Yep.
That is a penalty.
That it is. That it is.
The most dangerous player on the field for the Rovers, and he does exactly what he's good at and gets himself into the box and wins a penalty.
But you know what? Even if he scores here, like, this game is far from over
It's
because
not anywhere
because
close
all
to
we had to
being
do
done.
was think about last week's semifinal between the Blue Devils and Scrosoppi. And what was it? Was it 2 penalties or 3 penalties?
There was 2 penalties in the first half.
And
one
then
converted, one not converted.
And
a
then
free
one
kick,
ghost one that should have been called.
one
and
ghost one that should have been called. There was a lot happening in that semifinal. Let's put it that
Exactly.
way.
So he scores this game is far from over.
As it looks like we're just getting ready for this one. And the run up here. And Vikla gets a hand to it, but just can't get it under control.
Textbook.
And just like that, Simcoe regains their 2-goal lead.
Yeah, that's their first shot of the half.
Yeah, and all it takes is one.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this game.
Yeah, exactly.
But, man, credit to Vikla. Last week he saved an early penalty against the
Yeah.
Blue Devils. He got his hand to that one.
Yeah.
It was just hit too hard.
And that's the unfortunate thing is as a goalkeeper, because in a spot kick like that, you're the one that you're on the hot seat, and if you don't score, then you're the one that's usually the one that's blamed.
And that was Javante Lane taking that one. Those light blue numbers are sometimes hard to see from up in the booth that we're in, but
Especially when it gets dark.
But Simcoe County capitalizes on their opportunity, and it is now 3-1.
Yeah, just like that, a game can turn on its head. Let's see what Scrosoppi's got, because I don't count them out of this.
Let's see
Not
how
with the way
both
they've been
teams
playing.
respond to this, as Scrosoppi has controlled the second half, as Halley now down the line, plays the ball into the box. Gallo clears it to Cotterill. And they're going to try to reset here. Gill plays it off of Halley, but Benitez Hernandez able to get back on this one. He's got 2 defenders in between him and the box. Now Halley beats one, carries it towards the box, plays it across. Great opportunity there. What a chance! A beautiful opportunity for Javante Lane to add a second one already in this second half.
Yeah.
But just over the top. And I was about to say it before that attack. Let's see how both teams respond, because Simcoe's been kind of hemmed in, and now they get a little bit more freedom as Ellis is taken down hard there. Let's see if they might be able to capitalize on a bit of momentum, or if Scrosoppi is able to reset it here, as Ellis was taken down with a hard shoulder in the sort of a shoulder-to-shoulder, maybe a little bit high. But
I think it was shoulder maybe to the side of his head.
Shoulder
because
to
you saw
neck
his head
almost.
kind of snap.
yeah, glad to see him getting up. And it looks like we're going to have our first substitution of the game. Leaving the match is Manveer Gill. Entering the match is number 36, Danny Medeiros, the 2004 aged player. He's one that came into the game last week as well, so someone that Coach John Yakuf trusts from his bench. It's going to be interesting to see how he can kind of change the flow of this game. I don't think Gill necessarily has played poorly, but adding a little bit more pace with Medeiros could be something that
That's
Yaku
also-
is looking for.
That's also a change, and we say that, and Medeiros ends up on the ball.
As there's a shot from Frankovic, now Paredes on it. He cuts it across, and they're going to win a free kick.
Late. That one was
I
late.
give credit to the ref. I know he waited to see if
Yeah.
Scrosoppi was going to get a chance. Not many refs do that with a challenge like that, but I'm glad we got to see that from this referee.
Yeah. The thing with Medeiros, bringing Medeiros in, Medeiros adds a little bit more. He's A, younger legs, B, fresh, and Gill wasn't playing poorly, but now it's a different flavor. It's a different look going forward.
As the ref is talking right now to Benitez Hernandez, and it looks like he has to go off, so I'm wondering if
Blood
there's
on his
blood
arm.
on his arm. Good catch there, Jules. And Zis from about 5, maybe 8 yards further out than his wonder strike last week. Do you think he goes for goal, or do you think he plays it across?
Oh, yeah, he's going to goal. He's going to
Easy
goal.
answer, I see. Okay.
And it wouldn't surprise me if it goes through the wall.
That's what happened last week, so we'll see what happens here.
There's a lot of confusion on the sidelines right now because players been pulled off, and now
Because, Coach Yaku was arguing that he that they should just play, not wait for the player to come back on.
Exactly.
And now he's getting a yellow card for that.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I see where Coach Yaku is coming from, because the truth of the matter is that it should just be played on. You shouldn't be waiting for a player if you take a player off for blood.
And this strike, what a save! Perfect strike, bottom corner.
Yep.
Through the wall, as you said, Jules. But Bajman, standing tall for Simcoe County, keeps it at a 3-1 game.
Yeah, he saw that at the last second, because that thing was a rocket. And that's what this is great at.
And now he gets another chance to put an in-swinging corner in. Plays it to the far post. Rankin in there. Ball's bouncing around as Mon can't control it. Now it falls out to Paredes. He's going to send it out to the far side to Ziss. Halley defending. Back to Paredes. Trying to find Ziss down the line. He keeps it in. But now Al George gets it forward to Javante Lane. Lane tries to go to the outside, but it's DeFeo in the way. Now Karaganakos plays it out to Halley. Halley to the near side to Claude Lawson. His shot can't get through, and Cody Ellis is able to clear, looking for Skublak. Good challenge there by Karaganakos, but Gallo does a good job to get back and clear the lines. Incredible scenes we're seeing right now, Jules. Lots of opportunities from both sides.
This is what a final's supposed to be. It's high energy, high pace.
High emotion as well.
True.
As Benitez Hernandez is trying to get subbed back into the game, but trying to do it from the bench, which never going to work when you're clearing up blood. And now he's going to be called in after getting checked out. And I apologize, that wasn't Benitez Hernandez. That was number 14, Firgado Zomba. Oh, I apologize. He switched jerseys.
Yes.
Because that is Benitez Hernandez right there.
He had to change because of the blood on the jersey.
So he had blood on his jersey, so he took number 14. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, folks. If you see 14, it is no longer Firgado Zomba. It is Orlandis Benitez Hernandez.
Yeah, it's League One. Nobody keeps two jerseys of everybody. The only other jersey they possibly have is the other color jersey that they have.
Well, I'm going to assume that means Firgad's probably not getting into the match, as he was on the roster. This will be a free kick here for the Rovers. And they'll send the big guns into the box. It's deep into the Scrosoppi end. And Benitez Hernandez, after getting bandaged up, will take this free kick. Along with, I believe that's Sean-Claude Lawson. Both of them standing over this one. Benitez Hernandez with the left foot, Claude Lawson with the right. This one's sent near post, and Skublak with the easy clearance. Oh, but only as far as Javier Algeorge. And that'll be Porto Oliva just clearing it long.
That's okay. That gives Simcoe a chance to regroup, but also gives Scrosoppi an opportunity to set up. Again, they're back to their 4-1. They're back to their 4-1. Well, and now it's actually 4-2.
They're playing a 4-2-3-1 with Benitez Hernandez playing a very high part of that 3.
Yeah, and in defensively they get into the block.
Yeah.
Before they had a holding midfielder standing between the two lines.
Halley to Devontae Lane. Tries to play it over the top to look for Benitez Hernandez, but a good job there by Luka Frankovic.
Should have been selfish.
Danny Medeiros now. He's pushed up a little bit further, whereas Manveer Gill was playing more of a defensive mid role. It looks like Danny Medeiros is playing more offensive. Not a surprise as Scrosoppi is chasing the game. And this one's going to go up for a Simcoe throw.
As you can hear Coach Jason Beckford screaming the adjustments of what they need to look for.
Urging his players forward is the word I like to use. Urging everyone forward.
With probably sometimes colorful language.
As Porto Oliva sends this one forward. Claude Lawson's able to control it, and now it comes to this near side to Cameron De Silva. De Silva to Earl. Earl to Claude Lawson. And now De Silva being chased down by Cody Ellis. And it looks like De Silva gets a straight red.
Because he pulled his hair.
So, Simcoe County now leading 3-1, has gone down a man. And Cody Ellis is not happy with Cameron De Silva.
Well, you can't grab a man's hair. It doesn't matter what gamesmanship you think that is. Jersey is not acceptable, but jersey is more acceptable. You grab a man's hair.
Grab a man's hair, a man's skin, a man's arm. Like that's not really acceptable at all.
No,
at any level.
No. You know, it's like, and that taking place, yes, that is a straight red. And good on the referee for making the decision, making the call quickly and definitively.
So straight red for Cameron De Silva. It'll be interesting to see how Simcoe County readjust their lineup now. They still haven't made a substitute yet, so lots to play. And you can see the referee having a chat with Cody Ellis, who was really unhappy, and rightfully so.
Yeah, agreed.
But Cody now getting the explanation as to why he was getting yelled at by the official is the right way to deal with things, and we're going to get it reset. And Alexander Ziss, the man who's been sending in fantastic free kicks and corners so far today, will get another opportunity. He's sending this one looking long, and that's Danny
ball.
Medeiros with the header. Or I apologize, that was Luke Rankin with the header. And he just puts it on net to Bajman.
So we're in the 78th minute, and this is a personal pet peeve of mine, that when goalkeepers fall on the ball to kill the game, you have 23-plus minutes left. You're not killing that much time.
Well, 13-plus minutes left.
Well, true.
As this one's sent forward.
Okay,
little ping pong being played there by...
Math isn't my strong suit.
That's what I'm here for. Don't worry, Jules. Players down on the far side, and the referee and all the fans are screaming for it as this one's played long. Cotterill is challenged there by Portal Oliva, and it'll be a throw-in for Scrosoppi. The ref's going to blow this one dead. It looks like it's number 16, Alan Blege is getting ready to come in, but I wonder if this changes Jason Beckford's plan.
Well, it depends. Depends on if it's his knee, it's his ankle, or if he's just taking a knock.
The way he's holding his leg doesn't look good, but hopefully...
No, he's getting up, possibly.
he's getting up to his back.
I said that he was getting up, and then I saw the therapist running out.
Which is pretty good indication he's not getting up anytime soon.
With either the golden sponge or the cold spray.
Looks like Scrosoppi is also getting ready to make a substitution. And another one of their substitutes from last week also coming in. It looks like it's going to be Nicholas Blaskovic. We'll try to figure out those changes in a minute.
For those of you who can actually hear the sound, that's actually not fireworks. That's just somebody's little pocket rocket in the parking lot.
Are you sure? I think that was behind the net, though. That's the thing.
You had to hear the rev going at the same time.
As this throw-in is taken to Paredes. He's going to try to play it back, and he gets very lucky.
Brilliant touch.
Frankovic able to keep control of it. Now Skublak brings it into the box, wins the corner kick for his side. And it looks like Scrosoppi is getting ready for the change, but it's not happening just yet.
And it looks like
so
Simcoe
Ziss takes this one long to the far post, and a good touch there by Mon, or else there was two Scrosoppi players standing on the far post. And a great ball by Jean-Claude Lawson to keep that one in. And now Ajahali,
interesting,
wide open. He's one-on-one with Carlo DeFeo. Tries to beat him to the right side, cuts it back in. Still going wide, tries to get the shot across. And a good job by Paredes tracking back, but that could have been dangerous for Simcoe. And what a move by Ziss. The turn. He plays it to this near side looking for Cotterill, and it gets over the top. He's in behind the defender, does a cut back, looking for the ball into the box, but he cannot get there as Jean-Claude Lawson with another great defensive play finds their attacker Benitez Hernandez, and he's being chased down by Omari Cotterill. There's Aja Haley in the middle. He plays it across looking for Jean-Claude Lawson, and he ends up winning it as Omari Cotterill can't get there. And now it'll go out for a throw.
There's some tired legs out there after that end-to-end.
Frenetic scenes, and we're going to get the substitutions here. So Simcoe County, it's number 20, Paul Karaganakos, who currently has the winning goal for them. He's going to come off, and we're going to see the inclusion of Alan Say Blagay and Victor Gallo, the captain, being subbed off, the center back. And coming in for Scrosoppi is Nicholas Blaskovic, a midfielder. So they're changing their formation, and they're doing it quickly.
Yeah, at this point, they have no choice.
Also up a man, don't forget that.
They're up a man, they're down 2 goals, and I'm figuring probably about 4 minutes extra time coming. So they should be, this is where they need to make the decision to go for it.
Yeah, and it looks like Blagay is going to go to the right back side, and they've moved Alejandro Porto Oliva to the left side. Good job there by Javante Lane to keep that one in, but can't get past his defender, and now here comes Scrosoppi. Plays this one in behind. Cody Ellis is there, and a great challenge by Bajman.
That was surgical.
Sweeper, keeper.
Because if he misses that by even a half an inch, you're looking at possibly red card and free kick.
Well, if he gets a hold of Ellis, it's a free kick. But if he doesn't, Ellis is clean in.
Exactly.
As this one's played to the far side. Skublak, great control. Hammers it at the goalie. Nice job there by Bajman. But Simcoe can't clear it. And there's Danny Medeiros in the box. Now Paredes trying to chip the keeper. And he can't, but there's Skublak. He can't get control of it, and finally
puts it in.
Skublak puts it in, 83rd minute, and we have a game. Off of what seemed like a nothing ball over the top to Skublak, he got 2 opportunities on net, and finally put it in.
But you know what? I'd have to see the replay and take a look at it to see if the goalkeeper actually got wrong-footed there, because the way he came down, keeping the ball out, he did yeoman's work to keep the ball out. Defender has to get back to clean that up, but especially when you're down a man. But I think he got wrong-footed because he couldn't get back up after getting tangled in the back of the net. The momentum just took him into the back of the net.
Absolutely, but it's just an incredible scene here with just under 7 minutes of regulation to play, plus all the stoppage time. We're getting an opportunity to see an incredible 3-2 match.
And now we're going to see something interesting because they've just taken Haley out.
Yep, Haley is now out, and in comes Gabriel Boake.
So basically pace for pace.
Danny Medeiros with the interception there, but now Al George gives it away. And now here comes Blaskovic to the far side looking for Cotterill. But Blaskovic still following up. Oh, we're in for a fun one here, Julian.
Oh, I know. I'm excited.
Rankin, look at this. An absolute clinic of tackling by Rankin, and he wins the free kick.
No. Why are we going to do something silly like that? He's already blown it dead. There was no reason. That was a senseless yellow card. I get it. You're upset. You're frustrated. But you can't do that. Now, if you're buying your teammate time and it's a strategic yellow card, fine. But that wasn't strategic. That was
had
just
more
emotional.
guys behind the ball than he had in front of it.
Exactly.
So that was Benitez Hernandez picking up the yellow card. We're getting some chants from the far side. That was a good call by the ref. I don't know what they're saying, but.
Well, you know what? The interesting thing is it depends on how they mark it down on the game sheet now. Will they give Benitez Hernandez the card?
As this one's sent forward and Cotterill has it on the far side. Or do you mean if they give Fiergado Zomba the
Yes,
card?
exactly.
This one's played forward. Wide open, Frankovic! And he clears the fence in the back instead of the net.
Simcoe's having issues at the back now. They're getting caught with timing, and they're losing their men. They need to slow things just down a touch so that they can regroup and get their bearings.
85th minute, 3-2, Simcoe County. What a match we have had the pleasure of watching tonight, and there's still more to come.
This has lived up to the billing. It's like anybody, folks, don't go anywhere. Anything can happen at this point.
As Bajman plays this one forward, looking for Javante Lane. No one can get ahead to that one, and now Danny Medeiros will go up for the flick on. He finds Skublak. Skublak looking for the run of Ellis. That was a nice ball played forward by Blaskovic, but Ellis unable to get on the end of it.
Great idea.
as I think all the players are yelling that the ball is flat and the ref's not doing anything about it. As this one's sent forward. I heard from both benches the same thing. That's why I was a little confused.
Yeah.
As this one's sent forward, and there's Boyake looking to the far post for Lane, and there it is! What a finish!
That might be the nail in the coffin.
Javonte Lane with an absolute beautiful finish. And that could all but seal it for Simcoe,
Yep.
but there's still lots of time to play in this one,
Exactly.
Julian. Who knows?
You know, a great finish, right place, right time, and out comes the yellow card.
Yeah, you can't do that in this game anymore. Can't take your jersey
Nope.
off, but I don't think he'll mind too much after that finish.
Yeah, except if he has to make one of those like game-saving tackles, then they got to go down too.
Yep. As the ref tries to get things back underway, but Javonte Lane doubles his tally, and Simcoe up
Nice.
4-2.
The best part is when you take your shirt off and you run around and do everything else and you get the card, and then you can't figure out how to get your shirt back on.
Oh, it's sweaty, it's gross, it's hard to get back on after that. And it looks like Scrosoppi is going to make another substitution. We'll see who's coming off in a second here as they try to. Oh, it looks like they're going to make two substitutions. My apologies.
Yeah, they're throwing caution to the wind now, and they have to.
But we'll get underway and we'll wait for those subs. As Sis plays this one
Great
long.
ball.
Cotterill in the far side. Tries to keep this one in but cannot. And it's going to be a goal kick for
That right
Simcoe.
there is, kids, if you're out there and if there's ever a skill that you want to perfect, that right there, that ball by Alexander Ziss. Very few players in the world can hit that and can hit a man on stride where he can actually collect it and do something with it. That was fantastic.
As Bajman had the ref come look at the ball, so something is up with this, as multiple people have talked about it. We're still waiting on the substitutes, but it looks like Mauro Luli will be coming on for Scrosoppi at some point. Jean-Claude Lawson flicks this one on, and there's Javonte Lane. And a little bit of a tangle there, and Simcoe will earn the free kick. And a little chat there from the referee. Nothing egregious from either side. As the substitutes will be taking place here, so looks like it's Alejandro Porto Oliva coming off, and number 27 Luke Ihama, a Barrie native, coming in for Simcoe. For the other side, number 11, I believe it's supposed to be number 4, Joshua Paredes is coming off, and number 19, Sebastian Lopez is entering the match, and Cody Ellis will make way for Mauro Luli. So I got that one right at least. I got one right.
It's kind of hard when they flash up the wrong number.
That said 11, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
He's on the bench. I know that. unless Paredes took a different jersey too.
Yeah. Hey, maybe it was dirty.
No, but he clearly has 4 as I see him walk off the pitch. Scrosoppi with the ball. Ziss plays it forward to Skublak. Skublak looking for the run of Blazkovic. And if you watch the semifinal last week, Blazkovic has some wheels, so expect them to play more of those over the top.
This is
7 minutes of added time here, Julian. We are into the stoppage time as Skublak flicks this one on, but Tajay Reed is there.
This can be a dangerous time for Simcoe because you're sensing, you're tasting the gold medal, you're tasting the cup, but at the same time, you can't give up because you've got those 7 minutes that you've got to play.
As Bajman does a little keep-ups to kill a little bit more time. That's creative. You don't see that from many goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Nor do coaches want to see that from many goalkeepers.
No, that's more importantly, especially when you're up.
As Mon plays this one forward. Lopez jumped but couldn't get there.
I think he lost that one in the lights.
or lack of lights in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you know what? Depends on how you
Zis
look up.
taken down, and he goes back at Javier L. George with a push. And here we go. We knew Emotions can run high. They ran high last week, and we're seeing it again this week. As it looks like cooler heads are going to prevail. I'm very impressed. Thomas Skublak, a guy who's known to be emotional, play with his heart on his sleeve. First guy back for Scrosoppi to break everything up. That's what a true leader looks like right there, Julian.
Exactly. You know, it's understandable. At this point in the game, Scrosoppi is chasing the game. They know that guys are going to get fouled. They know that people are going to come in hard. Simcoe's trying to protect the lead because they want to win this game. They want to take it home.
Al George was the one who picked up the yellow after the hard challenge on Zis. And it looks like that's the... Oh, there's a second one here. And it looks like it's Blagay who picked up that one.
Yeah.
So the substitute. So a lot going on in this match late in this one. We've seen 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. We've seen a red card. We've seen 2 more yellow cards. And we still probably have about 6 minutes to go.
Exactly.
What else could we see?
Well, if I'm a fan, another goal.
Another 1 or 2. Let's go to overtime at this point. See some extra action.
Exactly.
As this one's going to get played long. Alexander Zis looking for Medeiros and...
Guys, you got to talk.
Medeiros and Rankin both in that one.
Got their signals crossed on that one.
We're in the 3rd minute of extra time. We're probably going to see another minute and a half added on after that kerfuffle, I'll call it, before that free kick.
Everybody's wondering which club they're going to tonight afterwards.
They're just asking questions. Hey, where are you guys going? As we'll get it reset here. Sent forward, and Scrosoppi brings it down. Blaskovic drops it off to Lopez. He finds this. He tries a little Rabona to get it across. That didn't work. And now Simcoe County tries to clear their lines. But only as far as Lopez, who can't bring it under control, and now Benitez Hernandez does. And they'll send it forward to Javante Lane. He's one-on-one with the defender, but a great job by Carlo DeFeo. The guy who I was worried about limping around earlier stands on his head.
He's still limping, but, you know, that's a guy who's gutted out a performance.
This one's sent into the box. Danny Medeiros! Another great save by Bajman. And a good clearance there by the defender as well.
Remember how I made my comments before the game about one of the goalkeepers could possibly be the player of the match? Bajman's earning
Benitez
something.
Hernandez are battling for it right now for Simcoe, for sure. The 2 guys we called out in the pregame. So
exactly.
We seem to know what we're talking about. As this one's going to be cleared for a corner. 4th minute of added time. Probably expecting 4 more.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if a goal comes here. From Zis's corner.
As Zis gets ready with the corner.
He's just a magic man.
Plays it to the far post. And a good job there by Scrosoppi just to keep it in. And now Carlo DeFeo to Blaskovic. Out here to Rankin. The center back playing down the wing. Gotta love that. Blaskovic with the cross into the box. Cotterill waiting there, but a good job by the defender to get in the way. And now here comes Scrosoppi trying to build out once again. Ball played into Thomas Skublak. The leading goal scorer in League One gets a shot away. Good block there by Tajay Reed. And now here comes Sean-Claude Lawson. Lots of space for him down this line. He plays it down the line, looking for the run of Gabriel Boake. And he's taken down by Alexander Zis. That's an easy yellow card there for the referee.
Yeah. Except I don't think, we already knew where he was going. He was going to the corner.
As he should at this time of the game. And we're going to get one more substitution for Simcoe. Number 9, Javante Lane, the 2-goal man. Now he has the game-winning goal. He's making way, and it's number 17, C.J. Smith, entering the match.
Yeah.
as Lane taking his time to make his way to the sidelines. We're going to get restarted here with a Simcoe free kick, and it looks like it's number 11, Sean-Claude Lawson, to take. As Benitez Hernandez is complaining about yards, even though he's closer than anybody else. And it's going to be offside here, so Scrosoppi will get the free kick. We're into the last minute of official added time, but I believe we're going to get a little bit more. We shall see. As Skublak flicks this one on, trying to find. That'll do it! Pardon me, Julian, but
Wow.
Simcoe County Rovers have taken the League One men's final, and they are your 2023 League One Ontario champions.
All I can say is kudos to Simcoe County. They've done a great job. Kudos to, actually, to be quite honest with you, kudos to the management team of Julian de Guzman, Daniil Henry, Jesse Fleming, and company, because they have come in and they have built a class organization. Last year they were the finalists. This year they're the champions. And you know what? And the leadership of Jason Beckford can't be underestimated. He's led these players. He got these players to stay calm, under pressure, and they managed to pull it out, because in the beginning of the second half they looked like it could have fallen apart.
Absolutely, and just absolute scenes. We're seeing fans jump the fence to celebrate with their team. Blue smoke in the far corner.
No, that's a blue flare.
It's smoke. I'm not wrong. There is smoke from it.
Yeah.
The statement's not wrong.
No, this is true. But the burn mark in the turf might be.
Potentially, yes. But we were treated to an incredible match here tonight.
Yeah.
1 versus 2 lived up to the billing, Julian. We got a 4-2 game, and it could have easily been 5-4. It could have easily been 6-3, if not for our man of the match. And I don't know about you, but I think we got to give it to the keeper for Simcoe County, Bajman.
I agree. He made some key saves at key times. And if it wasn't for some of the things, like a couple of the saves that he made, like especially the 2 key saves where he made, and even on the goal where he ended up getting wrong-footed and still getting scored on, he was in the right place at the right time. And that's why I believe he's the man of the match.
He got wrong-footed on the Skublak goal. Other than that, he was picture perfect.
Yep.
The entire game.
He was textbook.
And he faced 10 shots and made 8 incredible saves.
Well, we did say it before the game that we could see a goalkeeper being the man of the match. And he didn't disappoint.
Vikla didn't disappoint either.
Vikla didn't disappoint either. It's like
And you
both
know what?
goalkeepers were excellent.
To be absolutely frank, we had 4 players that we talked about before the game. The 2 keepers and the 2 players to watch, Thomas Skublak and Orlandis Benitez Hernandez.
Yes.
I would say we could have picked any of the 4 as a
And we
player
wouldn't
of the
have been wrong.
game, and we would not have been wrong. They all stood on their heads
Yes.
and performed to the best of their abilities in this match. But only one team could come out on top, and Benitez Hernandez and Bajman are on the right side of this one.
Yes. Yes. And I have to say this much, as we look at the Scrosoppi side that just fell short today. They had a fantastic season. They finished first overall.
17 wins in 20 games.
They came out, they rolled through their playoff match to get here to the final. They didn't disappoint here. It's a disappointing result for them, but it's not a disappointing season. You know, sometimes in a final, there's so much of a possibility of actually having something go right, and there's so much of a possibility, even more so, of having so many things go wrong. And for that matter, you know what? Hats off to them. They deserve everything that they laid out on the field today. And you know what? They could have rolled over and died after that first 9 minutes, but they didn't roll over and die.
No.
They took it right to Simcoe. Once they found their feet late in the first half, they took it to them in the second half. And you know what? It was entertaining, and you can't complain.
I couldn't have said it any better, Julian. It was an entertaining match from minute 1 to minute 97. And we were treated to an absolutely fantastic match. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's award time, and one team's going to raise that trophy above their heads, and you know we're going to get a big cheer. You're listening to the League One Ontario Men's Final here on M2 TV.
At this time, we would like to ask the two teams to approach the table at midfield to receive the medals.
See here in Vaughan, and Julian, I don't know what else to say about this match other than it was everything you could ever want from a final.
That was fun.
That was a lot of
That was
fun.
fun to watch. And when you can say that about a final, then you know it had a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that some finals have a tendency to be a dud because of teams being nervous or teams not rising to the occasion. This, everybody rose to the occasion. And unfortunately, the only issue is that somebody had to lose the game.
And both teams didn't deserve to lose this one, which is hard to say in most matches. Usually one team stands out above the other. That wasn't the case today. Simcoe definitely deserves the win. Scrosoppi does not deserve to lose. But that's how it
Exactly.
works in soccer, unfortunately. That's how you have to play. And now we're going to get an opportunity to see both teams collect their medals. And for Simcoe County, they were here last year. They were the finalists. They were on Scrosoppi's side, though. They had to watch the other team raise the trophy. How much enjoyment are they going to get from this moment, raising it above their heads as a team. Coach Beckford doing the exact same thing and getting the opportunity to do something that very few teams get an opportunity to do in League One Ontario because there have been so many great teams so far. How great is that going to feel for them?
Well, you know what? We're talking about a team that has, like, it's only its second year in inception, and they've been assembled properly. This is how you build a team. This is how you build a team that competes with the Vaughns, who've had perennial success. And now the question is, if you look at it, really, does Coach Beckford stay?
It's a great question. And I mean, there's some openings now coming up in MLS circles, in the CPL potentially. What happens there? There's a lot of questions as we head down to the field, and it looks like Scrosoppi is starting to get their medals. Dino Rossi is the man handing them out, and you can see one by one the players are going to collect their medals. It's tough to see them have to walk through this. No one wants to have to deal with it, but you give them credit as credit is due. And there's Stanislav Skublak, Thomas's brother, making the way through the lineup. You see a couple of the substitutes also collecting theirs. The captain, Victor Gallo, in the penny after he was subbed off. Danny Medeiros. We see Nicholas Blaskovic pick his up. Justin Hu only played a couple matches, but he was an important role for this team. Lots of key players in this final match, let alone in the league as a whole. So you got to give them credit where credit is due.
Well, the other side of it, too, is that you think about the players that have gone off to school that are not in the Scrosoppi side this week. And, you know, players like Anthony Stoller, who's gone down to Cape Breton for his season, which starts next week. And you think what could have been, but again, we're talking about a final, and it's not so much what could have been, it's what is.
It's what is, exactly.
And that walk for Scrosoppi is a long, painful walk, especially when you leave it all out on the field.
Especially on home turf.
Yes.
That always hurts just a little bit more
Yeah.
on home turf. But can we really call it home turf after the huge numbers of Simcoe County fans that made the trip down? They had a bus come down, left Barrie at 4:30, and were here bright and early, cheering their team on all through the warm-up, and now they're about to get the opportunity to cheer them on as they get their medals.
Exactly. And again, you see a great scene as you see the owner mixed in with the players and celebrating with the players. Julian de Guzman's down there.
As they should be, and where it looks like Dino's getting ready to hand out the medals along with other members of League One Ontario here tonight. And they're just trying to figure out how they're going to do it right now. But here we go. And, of course, the first guy to get his medal is none other than the captain, Justin Earl. Well-earned.
And well-earned, and he was the leader of this team.
Tajay Reed with the big handshake. Gabriel Bayoke.
Came in and did some great things at the end.
The keeper, the player of the match, Bajman. Number 20, Paul Karajanakos, a goal scorer in this one. Javante Lane, 2 goals to his credit. Cameron Da Silva. Sean Claude Lawson. Shamir Akbar didn't make it onto the pitch today, but he was a huge player for them throughout the season.
Yes.
Number 14, Fear God Ozamba, with his own jersey on by the looks of it, after switching out with Benitez Hernandez. Both the keepers, that's Peter Schuberstoff getting his medal. Aija Halley gets his. Alan Say-Blagay getting his medal. Luke Ihama, the Barrie native, getting his medal. CJ Smith, the late sub. Didn't play for very long, but you know it feels just the same for him.
Exactly.
Couple non-rostered players today picking it up. There's Chimike Azurunwa getting his, and Javier Al George. And now the Cuban contingent getting their medals as well with the flag. You don't get to see that very often, but what a moment for those guys. That's Alejandro Porto Oliva and Orlendis Benitez Hernandez getting their medals. Now it's the coaching staff's turn, and give credit to all of these coaches and players. We've already talked about the head coach, but what about Bola Avolonta, Dante Henry, Mark DeLong, Milad Mohib, Paul Smith, and Zach Zico Maradi? The whole coaching staff for the Simcoe team, got to give them credit.
Exactly. You don't, as a coach, as a head coach, you can't operate in this league on an island by yourself. You have to have a support staff. And Beckford has a great one.
And there's the boys cheering on their coach as he gets his medal. Oh, watch out. Watch out, JB. They're coming for you. But before Beckford gets the shower, one more thing needs to be done.
Yeah. Oh, I think they're calling in Julian, too. Oh.
Julian de Guzman, Beckford, and, of course, the captain, Justin Earl, as he gets his picture taken with it. And before anything else will happen, he gets this picture. As soon as it's done, Julian, are you ready? He's teasing him with it right now.
Yeah, I know.
He's teasing him with it.
There we go.
Julian de Guzman collecting everybody up. They're going to get another picture before, and there it is.
Go.
Your 2023 League One Ontario champions, Simcoe County Rovers. As Earl's struggling to keep that above his head.
Well deserved. Well deserved by the Simcoe County Rovers, your 2023 champions. They've done a great job. Now the question is, what else is coming?
And next year, we already know where they're going to play. They're going to be playing in the brand new League One Premier Division as the league expands to 3 different levels: Premier, Championship, and League Two. Get ready for tons of League One action next year.
Exactly. And you know what? And this is exactly what this country needs, because we've got the CPL, which is the highest level. Knew that, and he waited a long time to do that. We've got the highest level, which is the CPL, or the CAMPL, and then we have League One across the country. League One Maritimes is coming. League One Prairies is coming. League One Alberta ran tests this year. League One BC has done well. League One Quebec, of course, is the old PLSQ. And now we've got League One Ontario. Can't wait to see the Neutralite Canadian Championship next year.
It's a fantastic opportunity that we get to watch the game grow in this country. And Simcoe County is a great example of it. You've mentioned it. It's only their second season. In 2 seasons, they've been to the finals twice.
Yep.
They've won once. And now they get an opportunity to potentially try to defend their title next season.
Exactly.
It's an exciting time to be a Canadian soccer fan, and I would expect nothing less from a country that embraces sport to the fullest. It's time for soccer's time to be embraced by this country.
Exactly. We are still the largest. It's still the largest participation sport in the country, and now we need to figure out a way to take it to the next level. We can compete with almost anybody in the world up until the age of 12. After that, you see a massive separation, and we need to find a way to close that gap for that separation.
And the gap is closing. Let's not be coy about this. It is closing. It's just not closing very fast. And that's the biggest issue for everybody involved, because, Julian, you and me have both been in the game for a very long time, in and around the game in different aspects. We've seen the game grow in the time that we've both played, and now you've been coaching for years. I've made the transition over to the broadcast side. We've seen the game grow drastically. There's still a lot to do.
Exactly.
But
There's a tremendous amount.
But the growth of League One across the country. You mentioned the Prairies. You mentioned Alberta Series, the Maritimes. Everything is coming together, and it looks like we're heading in the right direction.
Exactly. So we can only hope that that's the case and that we end up going in that direction. And you know what? The future's bright, but what we really need now, dare I say it, is we need to make sure that all of this actually means something.
Agreed.
Like we can't just build it and then all of a sudden it stops and then it starts to fall apart. And that's the thing that's always worried me about Canadian soccer. We take 2 steps forward, then we take a step back, but we don't take a full step back. We take a giant step back, and then we got to try and build it all over again.
We basically reset every single time.
Yep.
We don't keep building off of what we've done, but we're starting to see the right steps being taken for the first time in a long time.
Yes.
And that's an encouraging sign for any soccer fan in this country. And you talked about the growth of League One across the country. League One BC women's team is the ones that came out with the championship in the interprovincial playoffs this year. We saw 4 amazing teams, but it was BC that won it, not Ontario, the one that has had League One for the longest time. Now we're starting to see teams from across this country come together and be, dare I say it, dangerous teams at this level. And that's what we need to continue to see in order to see the growth and to see the production of talent at this level. We just recently saw this week that the 200th player from League One was signed to a pro contract. League One's only been around for a few years. That is an impressive number.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as we can continue to maintain that growth, we're not saying we're set, but we're on our way to being set.
There's no way to be set, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, as we've seen, because even soccer nations that have existed or football nations that have existed for 100 years are struggling at times because of the nature and the way that things have completely changed with how players are developed and players are built and nations are built. So, you know what? We're in the infancy, if I can even learn how to say that word. We are in the infancy of a process. Now, with the success of the men's national team, the women's national team, now we can build something with what we have. And now we gives our players, our youth players, an opportunity and a place to grow. Can't wait, as Dino said, until 2025 when we've got a women's league. And then, you know what, then we're on our way.
Absolutely. And League One Ontario women's side is already seeing success. They've been able to produce so much talent. Just imagine what that national level league is going to do for this country and the growth of women's sports moving forward. The growth of the women's game has always been ahead of the men's side, and now we're getting an opportunity to see the men's side try to catch up. And making his way up to our
the man of the hour.
Here, the man of the hour, the coach of the winning team, Jason Beckford. Jason, come on in, join us in the shot here. Camera. Jason, a fantastic game for your squad. You came out quick, 2 early goals to set the tone, and then you maintained the match the entire rest of the way. Who do you give the most credit to on that field right now?
Everybody. We're a good football team. Simple as that. We're a good football team. We started at the beginning of the season where we were just bringing the lads together. It's a brand new team. I have to give thanks to Julian and Peter. Ali Sozeri is not with us at the moment, but for helping us put the team together. We've identified people, we've done our homework, and we knew that we had by about halfway through the season, I kind of got a feeling and thought, right, okay, we've got a decent group of boys here in terms of their character, and that that's going to take us all the way. So I didn't tell them that at the time, but I have been proved right. There you go.
Jason, at going into half, you guys look like you lost a little bit of momentum.
Sure.
So what did you say to the guys at halftime that came out? Because even when they came out, they looked like they still were losing a little bit of momentum. Then all of a sudden, boom, they snapped and turned it on.
Well, we just talked about just having some courage and have some courage and belief about passing the ball still. I mean, what we did, okay, we got 2 early goals, but we controlled the game by passing the ball and understanding when they're pressing us, whether we're going to play through or we're going to play around. And we kind of started in the second half where they just started to go a little bit more direct, overload us onto one side. We need to be able to figure that out quicker because not always am I going to be able to do it for them at half time. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, you want to come in those there, when you're under a little bit of pressure because that's the game. You're going to go, you're going to get some kind of adversity through a game of football. I had to get them in, kind of just to reorganise us a little bit. Again, yeah, to your point, we kind of like came out just still a little shaky, but good enough still. Because that first 15 minutes after halftime has always been crucial. We didn't concede in that time, so all of a sudden what happens is they start getting a little bit more desperate. More space to start to create themselves, and then we've been able to do that. We've done that all season, to be quite honest. We've been an absolute threat all season in terms of going forward. Yeah, I'd like to keep the back door shut a little bit more at times, but you know what? It's a one-off game of football today.
Well, you talk about that back end, and I mean, we named him our player of the match. Bajman was crucial today in how he was able to control the match from the back. How important has he been to this team all season, and how important was he for you guys today?
Do you know what? I think it's, I hate using that word, but it has been a journey for him, to be quite honest. He's knows that at times, I mean, he's got all the quality in the world. If you look up goalkeeper in the dictionary, it'll probably have a picture of him, 6'4". He's got all the physical attributes. We just need to get him right technically in terms of his passing, but also most importantly mentally. And I would say the Blue Devils game, which was probably about 5-6 games ago, was just the turning point for him, where he just came out of himself, a lot more confidence, and he showed it today. And listen, as you always say, he's earned his work today. He's earned his supper today. So well done to him.
The next question I have to ask, and I know you want to enjoy this, but how many of the guys do you think you're going to lose?
Well, listen, I think it's a good question. Our job, and when Julian asked me to take the job 2 years ago, I inherited 10 players, and then we ended up getting a few more ourselves. But the job for us, I always said was, and Julian agreed with me, was that what we wanted to do was create an environment, a professional environment for these young players to understand what it takes to be a professional footballer, and make sure the environment is as such that it's preparing them for the next level or the next level above that. So we've managed to do that. So that's the first thing, prepare them for professional football. So if they go on to higher echelons, in terms of playing football, great. That's what we want. We want them to get to a higher level, because then it only looks better on us, because that's what we are. We're a ground for developing professional football players, and that's what we want. We don't want them back here next year, to be quite honest. There's probably at least half a dozen of them, will quite easily go into professional football, I would say, maybe more. But it's just about having the opportunity. They've done everything they can this year. They've showcased themselves brilliantly. Can't say enough about all the lads. The coaching staff as well have been fantastic. You can't just do it on your own. Zico, Paul Smith, Bowler, was a player from me last year. Just always saw him as a future coach, if you like. Got a good understanding of the game. And then our athletic trainers, Mark and Millard. Everyone's played their part this year. Everyone's played their part, and obviously our general manager as well, Dante Henry. So we're just really pleased. It was a really good, team effort, and just want them to go and enjoy their night. Enjoy the night.
Speaking of enjoy the night, Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time. And please go and enjoy this night. Enjoy the time.
Appreciate you. All the best. Cheers.
Have a good one. Well, Julian, you can't ask for more from this match. You can't ask for more from Canadian soccer. I don't know how else to put it other than we were treated to a game tonight.
That we were. You can't. You said it best. You can't ask for anything more. That game was end to end. It had its lulls. It had its points where you didn't know what was going to happen, and you had your spectacular saves. You had your spectacular goals. You had your spectacular opportunities. That was a final, and you know what? It bodes well for this league and the growth of this league.
Yeah, and especially with both of these teams being fairly young teams in their development of League One. It's always good when you have the young teams have success, because it just encourages other teams to take flight and take their opportunities. So hopefully we'll see that. And now with the promotion relegation that we're going to see with League Two, Championship, and Premier next year, lots of young teams are going to get their opportunity.
Exactly.
And I can't wait to see what happens.
I can't wait to see the talent that's out there, because there's a lot out there.
Well, I think it's time to wrap this one up. We've said it enough. It's been a fantastic match. Thank you for watching. Simcoe County, your 2023 League One men's champions. For everyone here at M2 TV, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.